Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and make this video while I'm still feeling these emotions because it's just too crazy. Like, it's just way too crazy, and people should know, like, people should understand the difference between what is good socialization and what is not good socialization. So I was just working, and this is a rant. I sound pretty low key right now, but this is gonna be a rant, okay? I was just working, and I'm sort of in a new area, and where I'm at, there's a building located inside the building, right? And it's a pet place, right? Your really basic type place, right? And as I'm walking by, right, I see that the lights are on, and usually, I mean, I wouldn't expect them to be on at this hour, so I look inside because I feel like I might see a class be happening, and I'm right. So, I'm working at the moment, so I go ahead and check it out, and the first thing I see, right, as I'm going, right, sort of like to do my work with the dog I'm with, right, it's just, of course, it had to be like a free-for-all. All the dogs were playing with each other, and like they were interacting with each other. Some dogs were more brash than others. I saw something else, but I guess it's not really. I mean, it's just all bad stuff. It's just not proper socialization, and I just sort of laughed because I was like, this is a joke, right? I mean, there's someone running the class and there's someone like helping them, and they just allow this to happen where all the dogs are just like playing with each other. Like, this is supposed to be a socialization class for young dogs, and this is what you're doing, right? So I just laughed at it, and like I was just like, this is, I mean, like I sort of come to expect it, like nowadays, like people just run classes that are not proper, and no wonder why there's so many people who don't understand like proper etiquette when it comes to handling a dog. These people think that it's okay. Okay, it's just horrible stuff, right? So I leave. I'm just like, all right, I have better things to do than watch this circus of an event, right? I can work with my own dog, right? And so I go ahead and, continue on, right? And it was a short session, so I'm just, hold on, I gotta make sure the dog, what's up? You want a cameo? All right, come on. Come. Okay, so, I just go start working with the dog that I'm working with, right? And as I come back, right, I'm I'm sort of hoping that there's something, because I said to myself when I walked away, listen, I haven't seen everything, but I have enough experience of my own to understand what's proper and what's not. And it's really true. Like, you don't have to see much of somebody to understand where they're at, right? I only have to see a couple minutes of that class, and I already knew that wasn't like the best thing, right? Hey. So I'm walking back, and I'm optimistic, right, that it's gotten better. That like now this is a different period of class, right? And it sort of has, because now they have the dogs on lead, right? All the dogs are on lead. But it's still horrible. It still sucks. It still sucks. And like, there was a person running the class, and I know who he is in terms of like his name and like the way that he works. Like, I'm pretty sure, right, that it's the same person I'm thinking about. And then there's assistant, right? And it's just insane because you have people who are petting their dogs when they're not supposed to get pet. And the guy isn't saying anything. The guy's not saying, don't pet with your dog. He's just standing there like a fucking tool. Okay? Excuse my language. But they're there to learn proper handling skill. And this guy, I don't know what he was saying, of course, because I'm looking from the outside in. But it's clear that he's not getting through to the lady that what she's doing is horrible for the dog. And I'm just standing there like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? Because all you have to do is tell her to stop. No, stop petting your dog. Don't pet your dog right now, right? That's what they're paying you for. And he just stands there like a tool. It's crazy. The other thing, they constantly allowed the people to allow their dogs to go nose to nose with the other dogs in the classroom. And again, this is a point where he's supposed to step in as, if he wants any respect, I mean, he has to step in and say something to people. No, that's not how we're going to do this, okay? You don't have your dog just go up to another dog on its own accord. That's the stupidest fucking thing you could ever fucking do. To let your dog think that it's okay in one situation so they do it for the rest of their lives. And then, I mean, you know, I don't have to go into like talking about the danger. I mean, isn't it obvious? No, you tell your dog no. You give him a correction, or you just hold him at bay. I mean, what is so hard to understand about that? And, you know, and the other thing, my other sort of critique was that, like, it was just so stupid. When I first saw them, all the dogs were playing, right? They were allowed to roughhouse with each other. Of course, there are some dogs there that don't want to play, so it's like, what am I doing here, right? Do you know how quickly that dog is going to lose trust in its owner? The dog is not going to respect the owner because the dog is being put in situations it doesn't want to be in, right? The owner should see, and this is just so crazy, is that they allow this to happen. They allow this to happen. These people who run these shit social, and that's the worst part about it. They call it socialization. That's not socialization. Okay, technically it is, right? But that's not proper socialization. That's not raising the dog in a way that teaches him what the expectations are. So if he does it when he's young, right, he's going to do it, or she's going to do it when they're older. And then, right, this is sort of like the problem, and this is like a huge problem, right? Like, they let the dogs play, right? They let the dogs just be crazy, right? And then I was only gone like 15 minutes. Like, I was literally working for like a very short time. The dog I was working with was not in a working mood, so I mean, I can't push it on the dog. So I treated it just as, you know, something else. I intended to work much more, but that's just what it is. So when I came back, right, first I see them go crazy, and then like play, right, roughhouse. And then when I come back, right, they have the dogs, right? But they're all, like, it's just the stupidest expectation to put on that dog at that point in time, and the way that they do it is just, it shows that they really don't understand, man. Like, so they let the dogs play and do whatever they want, right? And then they expect the dogs to stay still. And then, of course, it wasn't just one person petting their dog when the dog was still. That's like the stupidest thing you can do. There was like 3 people doing this, you know? Some people had their dogs on their laps and shit. Like, it was just, okay, we're not training right now, okay? So it's not important, okay? If you're in a classroom and you're practicing obedience, I know it sounds like I'm a hypocrite, but okay, this is not black and white here, right? They're totally exceptions. It's totally fine. Like, I'm resting now, right? If I was working with him, I wouldn't allow him on my lap. The fact that I need to explain that is crazy, but just for those of you who might think I'm being a hypocrite, I'm not. Context, okay, is relevant. So, anyways, they let the dogs play, and then they expect the dogs to be still. And then, yeah, life's tough. I know. And then their response, like this is how I know that they really don't know what they're doing. And you know, it's funny because in some ways it's like that's my competition, but they're not even close, right? And so I don't, you know, I know that I can go up to any one of those people and offer something way like 10 times better. I know that, right? And it does give me a sense of pride at the end of the day. But I'm more concerned about like why are you running this shit when you don't know what you're doing in the first place? Like, why are you so bad at what you're doing? And this is, I didn't get to finish what I said, but this is the worst part. When there was this one dog who was like out of control, not, you know, it wasn't dangerous, but like out of control. And, and, oh my God, dude, I cannot, it's just so fucking crazy. They didn't tell the lady to give the dog a correction. They didn't tell the lady to sort of like, yeah, first, they didn't tell the lady to stop giving affection to the dog, right? This is one particular dog. She did both of these things. They didn't tell her to stop giving affection. They didn't tell her to correct the dog and just tell the dog no. They didn't even practice that, right? That's a skill set at the end of the day, right? They need to practice. They need to start that early on. And then the worst part of it all, you know what they told her? I bet you, some of you can guess, like the people who are watching this who are trainers. What's the stupidest thing you could do after you build your dog's drive, right? Reward them with food. So, and they're not practicing engagement because they don't understand engagement, right? If they did, boom, 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 boom. I mean, it would be, you know, with any of those puppies, I can get those puppies focused on me, then the other puppies in a couple of seconds with food. It's easy as pie. But they weren't practicing engagement, right? They were rewarding state of mind, an excited state of mind. Essentially, you're building drive, getting the dog to bark at other dogs, and then you're rewarding the dog. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. And then the other thing that they didn't do, which I just don't understand it. Like these people are running, they're running this program, right? And I have something else to add too. It's like a sort of bonus. But the one thing that they didn't do was they never walked the dogs. They never had the dogs walk in like state of flow, sort of like a pack type walk. Or it wouldn't be a pack type walk, but everybody would be with their own dog. Maybe I missed that, but like that's how you end it, is that you get everyone on the same page. You let the dogs play and then you expect them to be still? What are you going to get out of that? You're only going to get frustration, right? The dog is like, right? And those, they can't handle that. You're setting the handler up to like, you're putting in the handler in a situation that they can't control to begin with. It's just fucking crazy. It's just fucking craziness. These classes are so bad. And I think people totally misunderstand this thing of socialization. The dog doesn't need to be socialized. It doesn't. Like, it's done. The socialization period was over a long time ago. Like, most of these people have money, right? And so they get the dog from a breeder, right? That breeder is, like, I saw some really nice dogs in there. It sucks because they're just gonna turn out to be Scooby-Doos. Like, all of them are gonna be turned into Scooby-Doos. Like, oh, like, goofy, like, funny-looking dogs and stupid dogs, right? Like, they're not gonna be the best that they can be. And it's just, it's a little hard to watch as a trainer, but, you know, that's the way it is, right? And yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to add this because I'm just gonna sit like say who they are because I don't care. I don't care anymore. Like I don't care about this whole. I'm not trying to make them look bad. I'm trying to give a message that goes beyond them. Right? It has nothing to do with them. Right? I'm sure there's stuff like this that happens all around the country, and like people think that like it's a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's a stupid thing. And like They're like, it's just not set up properly. It's not run properly. That's for sure. It's not run properly, and that's it. So I guess the place is. Oh, I don't even know what the place is called. Huh. I guess they're sort of lucky in a sense because I was just about to. What are they called? I don't know, man. But these are the same people. The guy who runs it, I think his name is Dog Boy. I think that's his name. Okay? It just sucks dick. It's just so stupid and it's just so poorly run. What I was going to add to this is that the dog I'm working with, right, has like a history, right? But the dog is a simple dog. It's like it just has reactivity. It's like textbook reactivity. And I mean, we're not talking about a big dog at all here. We're talking about like a small dog. You know? I was working with that dog outside of that place, right? Doing some like luring and engagement type stuff. Simple stuff, right? The lady comes out who works there, and she was the same person who I think was the assistant to this class. She comes out, right? And she like gives me a compliment. Like, "Oh, is that so and so? He's so happy. It's nice to see him so happy." And then she said this. And this is how I know that these people should not be running a class to begin with like this. She said that the dog I had was a tough dog. The dog is like this little dog. He's not dangerous at all. He has reactivity. Okay? It's not aggression. Okay? It's the simplest textbook stuff you could deal with. He's not a tough dog. Maybe you don't understand his needs, right? So, like, you label him and you judge the dog instead of judging your own skill set, which is what you should be doing. But no, you label the dog, and so from then on, the dog is known as a tough dog. The dog is not a tough dog. The dog is, like, a fun dog to be around, like, very happy, right? But what comes with that is some reactivity, right? So, that's like almost... You know how many dogs I've dealt with that? Look, I don't know. This guy, Dogbot, if that was him, man, like, it's bullshit. It's bullshit, man. That's not how you run a group class. You don't... The fact that he doesn't have the Constitution. I don't know if he doesn't have the Constitution, or I don't know if he has the knowledge, the proper knowledge, to tell these people, don't pet your dog right now. Don't pet your dog. Like there were 3 people that were petting their dog at the wrong time, and the simplest thing would have been, no. You know? You and you, put your dogs on the floor, right? Like, and then, of course, the whole thing about letting their dog go to nose with other dogs. No. You just tell them no and not to do that. Is that, like, hard? No, it's not. I mean, I don't think it's a matter of constitution. I think it's just a matter of knowledge. Like, proper knowledge. Like, and this whole thing where you give the dog food for being in an excited state of mind, you're triggering dopamine. It's just so bad, man. It's just so bad. Like, I could do that. I could break the rules and I could make it work. But you don't tell laymen. I mean, you just don't allow that to happen. And the fact that he did, I think, I'm pretty sure this is him, because he works at the place that he advertised. Like, this is the place that he advertises he works at. You don't allow people to do that, man. Like, it's such amateur shit. And it's just so pathetic. I could do, like, 10 times better job. All right. I think I'm done. I'm going to go work with a dog. Anytime I have to see, like, this type of shit, like, stuff not being done properly, I just go back to working with my dog, because, like, hopefully this message has a message, right, that's greater than, I'm not trying to go after this guy. dog boy, whatever his deal is. I don't give a shit. You know, I don't. It's nothing like that. It has to do with the bigger picture, okay? And when you run a class that's so poorly run in the first place, and you call it socialization, you're really misleading people into what proper socialization is, okay? And they're gonna think that it's okay that their dog went up to another dog. They're gonna think that it's okay to pet their dog at the wrong times. I mean, this lady was literally fucking like going at it with the affection. There were like a couple people like that. And all you have to do is tell them to stop. I don't know. It's just so fucking stupid, man. You build drive in a dog and then you give them food. Anyone can open Pandora's box, okay? If you know what to do with the energy that comes out of it once it's open, okay? And that's essentially dopamine. It's crazy, man. It's fucking batshit crazy. And that was his go-to thing. See, like that was like it got to a point. Like I saw it escalating. I knew it was gonna happen before it happens, right? And like I was like, this is so stupid. But I stood there and watched because I wanted to see how they dealt with it, right? First of all, they didn't deal with it. And then when they did, they chose the worst option possible, which is to give the dog food, man. And they didn't like redirect their attention on them. You know, like, it's just so bad, man. It's just so bad. They just gave the dog for behaviors, but the state of mind was like, boop. All right, I'm done. I'm going to go enjoy myself now. Oh, man. All right, I'm done.